Hey guys, so I thought I would record a video of myself animating for a while because it occurred to me that there are a lot of people who are trying to animate in SFM but they really don't know how, and it's quite apparent. So I think most of that is that they just don't know the techniques. They don't know really just how it's done. Most of the time, animation, you've like got to go to some school or college for it. It's kind of difficult to pick up on your own, and trust me, I didn't go to any classes or anything. I've completely taught myself how to animate over a few years, and I'd say I'm pretty good. I'm not like amazing, but I'm fairly good, and I know I can teach you guys a thing or two. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you what I'm working on right now, and you'll see the completed video at some point. I'll be sure to put a link somewhere in this video so that you can go and watch that, but here's what I have so far.
You were the chosen one! It was said that...
Alright, so if you didn't recognize that, the audio is from Star Wars Episode 3, where Anakin catches on fire and all of that. If you haven't seen this movie, that's okay. The originals were better. I'm excited for the new Star Wars.
You were the chosen one!
So I'm just animating this whole clip here.
My brother Anakin!
It's pretty cool. So I got the audio inside of SFM and I've started. And if you didn't notice, there are a few mistakes I've made so far that I'm going to eventually correct. So what I'm going to do to begin this is I'm going to go through what I've done so far and show you how I did it, kind of analyze it with you. And then I'm going to start animating another chunk of it, probably right after this, where you stop there.
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them!
I'm going to do, where he says that line, I'm going to animate him for that. You guys can watch and see how that's done. So let's go to, this is probably the best example is this bit right here that I've done. So I go to the graph editor. Now I am using the graph editor because the graph editor is what real animators use, alright? The motion editor is, it's really a tool that you only see inside of SFM. I've used a lot of 3D programs, and none of them have the motion editor. Now, the motion editor is really nice, and I do use it, just not for the bulk of my animation. I use it to set things up and modify my animation, and I can show you an example of that here. If you look right here, you see his head starts to shake, just right there subtly. It's kind of a nice effect because he's angry. That's just, you know, the jitter effect that I applied with a fall off via the motion editor, so I'll use the motion editor to apply small things like that. Now, I'm not saying it's useless. Obviously, I use it for certain things. It does have a purpose. But if you're going to really be animating, you need to be using the graph editor, and that's just the way it is, alright? Alright, so, what is going on here? So, all these things, these blue things, and you know, you should know they're bookmarks or keyframes. But if I select my soldier animation set, you can see all of the little keyframes I've made. Now, what is the difference between a keyframe and an in-between? Well, you can see here, for example, right here, see how if I zoom in down here, it has everything keyed. If I just, you know, scroll down here, all of the controls in the character, every single one of those is keyed on a keyframe. That's why it's called a keyframe. Now, what is an in-between? You can see here, this is an in-between. You notice that it doesn't have as much stuff keyed there. It's just a few things I needed to modify to make the motion look more realistic. For example, I think right here, I think it was some of his chest bones I was moving. I actually don't remember. Might have been his collar. Where's his arms? Let me see if I can find what bone it was that I was messing with there. Yeah, it's one of them. But I think I can find an in-between. One sec. A bunch in here. Let me just grab the chest. Yeah, you can see a couple in-betweens right there. Just kind of help the chest move up. So the purpose of an in-between is to help establish that motion. Keyframes are really just the poses, right? If you were to analyze any motion, you could probably break it down into a number of the most extreme poses, and in animation those would be your keyframes. And the breakdowns or in-betweens or whatever, actually those are two different things technically, but you can kind of use them interchangeably. So with like your in-betweens, you're just fine-tuning that at some point in between two keyframes, and you're just modifying the things you need to make it look more organic and natural. And you'll see what I mean when I start to animate. Now, this video you might want to watch in times like 1.25 or 1.5. You should be able to pick up everything I say just fine, even at that speed. That way, it won't take quite as long. I don't intend to make this video that long, but just to let you know, if you're kind of running low on time, you might just watch this in a higher speed. Alright, so let's watch this one more time. And I see a mistake I've made here is, seems like he's getting pulled into the lava. I don't quite like that. He needs to be sliding and not getting pulled in. The wind effect there, that's pretty cool. Facial animation right here, really important.
You were the chosen one!
Right here, good facial animation.
It was
Now, real quick, I just want to show you kind of what keyframes will look like. And you see what I mean here in a second. Let me just grab everything and use the stepped tangent here. I'll have to Control Z this in a second.
You were the chosen one!
It's kind of what it looks like when I'm looking at it. Now, you can do, you know, the workflow really depends on your personal preference. Some people like to work exclusively in stepped mode until the end where they smooth it all out. I kind of like to work in, you know, just normal spline mode, which is, you know, it's kind of the interpolation in between the keyframes, and that makes it look smooth. But working in stepped mode is nice sometimes because it helps you focus just on the poses. So whichever you prefer, that's fine. I'll probably work in both for a little bit.
You were the chosen one!
So you can see here the main poses. If I select soldier, here's a pose. Here's an extreme pose. There's another. And another. And another one. Another. Another. And another. And you can see this keyframe right here. And this keyframe. This is what I like to call a resting keyframe. Where you're coming out of a slightly more extreme motion. See? It goes up and down there. When he comes down, he can't just stop. He has to have, you know, some fall off in that to make it look natural. And it goes to the principles of animation. I believe there are like 12. I'll have a link for you. You can check the principles of animation out. It's pretty helpful. Alright, so let's begin here. Get rid of my...
You were the chosen one!
Alright.
It was said.
Alright, let's get started here. So he's coming off. He's just said this line. Steps back. So what I want to do
It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
match up the way he moves with the audio. And you see I've done that
You were
here.
the chosen one!
It really matches up with what he's saying. And that's really important. Now, with facial animation, the thing you got to remember is you should probably do that last so that the keyframes, you know, don't look messy and don't get in the way. You're almost always going to do lip syncing last in, you know, facial animation. So, select our entire animation set, and let's find a point somewhere in here. And let's, I think that's about the right distance. You can always retime these later, and I'm sure you'll see me retiming things. So, I think I want him to move down for this one. So just going to grab a few bones in here, make some subtle movements, kind of make it look smooth. Move his shoulders down a little bit. There. His arms. Grab both of them. I want him. I'll put another keyframe in here. This is going to look rather rough for a little bit. Just keep that in mind. Animation is a process, and you just got to work at it until it looks right or good enough, you know. Obviously, I'm not a I'm not a one-man animation crew. Most of the time, you've got in studios, you've got a bunch of people working on the same animation, and they come back to it like several times. They do revisions, and that over time makes it look really good. But for one guy, like just me doing this, it's pretty good. I don't really have the time to sink in a whole bunch of quality into this, but I think I do all right. I want his arm, this one this time. I want it to start coming up. And the other arm I want to move up a little bit too. Move it a little bit closer to him. You notice I'm just kind of doing slight motions right now. I usually come back and I exaggerate things. Move his head a little more. I want to move this back. I want his head to go up right as he starts said. Right as he starts to say said, his head needs to be up already. And this is kind of a game of instinct and intuition. The more you animate, the more you'll find you just feel things. It's hard to explain, but you'll feel things. You'll look at something and you say, yeah, it doesn't look right, so I'm gonna do this. Let's see. It's a little too fast. So it's still looking fairly rough, but I'll come back to it. Right here, I'm gonna add another keyframe. Then again, you see I just selected the animation set and bookmarked everything. I'm gonna zoom, kind of put him here. And his chest. Actually, I want his chest to be out. I want him to lean in. And I'm actually going to start moving him in at this point. We're going to move this back. But he's moving forward. I want his shoulders kind of to hang back for a little bit. So I'm just going to grab these and move them back. Kind of a lot, actually. I'm going to exaggerate this. Shoulders are important, especially when you're trying to do stuff that has a lot to do with the face. Shoulders actually help a whole lot. It's just body language.
You were the chosen
Kind of got to be observant.
It was said that you were the chosen
So I'm actually going to move this back a little bit
one. It was.
And this back, and I'm going to take this one, I'm going to draw this part out a little bit more. Alright.
It was said that you. It was said that you. It was said that.
And let's take this arm that we forgot about. Let's put this up here. Now remove this head a whole lot. Gonna exaggerate this. And you gotta remember that animation, it's an illusion. You don't need to animate what you don't see. For example, if this was real life, his legs would be moving probably a little bit, but I don't need to animate them because I'm not looking at them. So keep that in mind. If you're not going to see something, don't bother with it. Just save yourself the time, alright? Now, you can kind of justify it if you're wondering about a few different positions where you're going to put the camera. But for this one, I know I want the camera here, mainly because I have that video for reference. So keep that in mind.
You were the chosen one.
Again.
It was said that you. It was said.
Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to exaggerate the hand a little more. kind of have a sore throat today. But yeah, I'm gonna grab this up. I'm actually bring this into the frame, and I'm gonna actually scoot it out, so we're just kind of in front of the camera here. And I'll animate the hand a little bit, probably later. Animating hands is probably one of the last things you'll do next to facial animation, unless it's more important to animate the hand right then and there. Move his hand up like that. For here, we're actually going to move it back so it looks like it's curling. There we go. Save again. See, I'm saving constantly. SFM likes to crash, so it's important to save your work. Alright, now let's add a breakdown. Not a breakdown, excuse me. Kind of a resting keyframe here, where this motion that he just did, it was kind of more extreme than the others. So you just want a keyframe to kind of rest that out. Gonna, you know, smooth it out at the end of the motion. So his hand comes back, kind of bounces up there, and then his chest comes out and he bends back a little bit. His neck comes up, but his head goes down, kind of just straightens out. And I actually really like that head position.
It was said that you. It was said that. It was said.
So there's something wrong with the hand here. It doesn't look right. I'm gonna move this direction. I'm gonna move it in closer. And what's wrong with the hand here is it's not moving enough. So we're gonna move it down. And you'll see here, she created this nasty little like. Look at that. That's really linear. I mean, it's really sharp. So at some point, you know, you're just gonna go through. Use this button here that kind of just does an average smoothing of them, and then later, if you need to, you're gonna use just grab this and then this. Use the middle mouse. You see, I can adjust the curve manually. That's helpful. Basically, I just want this to look smooth when I'm done with it. In fact, this will probably look a lot better if I just apply a general smooth from here to here. But just smooth all of that out. That's pretty good aside from the hand motion. So I probably need to tone that down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to emphasize the hand there. And I need to scoot just the hand back. Just a little bit. And I'm just going to get the elbow here. Whoops. Keep that on keyframe. And right here, his shoulder is going to move down.
It was said that you. It was said.
This needs to be down here for this part. I want his head to move up when he says set. Move it up a little more. This time I'm going to use the neck. That's way too much. Just kind of putting his neck a little stiffer. And I'm just going to smooth it out there. I want him to kind of move back when he says wood. Grab these two frames, kind of smooth out the transition between them.
It was said that you. It was said that you were just.
I need him to move his head. I got a good idea. Nah, not that way. Move it down here.
It was said that you were just. It was said that you were.
I'm actually going to do something here. It's going to look a little weird for a while. Add another keyframe in between these two. this. I'm gonna grab the arm, hand, come down, and like that. Motion curves look rather smooth. That's good. I want to really bend in on this one. Honestly, this is a little bit harder to do when I'm narrating. I don't know why. It just is. And let's smooth all of this out a little bit. See how that looks.
It was said that you would just. It was said that you would just. It was said that you would just.
Alright. That looks a little bit better. A little choppy still. Right here, I want him to curl up. Because he's about to say destroy. And there's a lot of emphasis in that word. So I want to really bring that home by using his body language to say, you know, destroy. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to bring his arms up a little bit more because he just went down, but I'm going to bring it back up a little bit. This one too. This one definitely too. And this one goes up like this. Bring his chest down. It's going to go back. Grab these two things, go back. Destroy. When he says T in destroy, I want to do fully uncurled here. And he's gonna move forward quite a lot, and you can actually use the camera once you've animated this stuff to kind of help exaggerate things. You'll see what I mean in a bit here. Actually, these arms are gonna go down, you know, almost straight down. Because he's angry, sort of. Kind of sad, obviously. Angry and sad, I guess. And hand animation, that'll come in a little bit. I only need to do a little bit on this hand because that's the only one you see. But hand animation is a really nice touch. So obviously, he doesn't look like he's really standing out that much when he says this. I need to move his shoulders down. This will help a lot. Not only am I going to move them down, but I'm going to rotate them down a little bit. Get a good angle on that. And puff his chest out. This helps a lot. And I need to bend him in a lot more. And kind of to finish this up, this little chunk here, I'm gonna move him up a little bit.
It was said that you would destroy. It was said that you would destroy. It was said that you would destroy. It was said that you would.
So I want a little more time in between this and this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this back. I'm gonna copy and paste it in here. Let's see how that looks like. Modify it a little bit.
You would destroy. That you would destroy. That you would destroy.
It's good, I guess, but it needs to probably curl up even more in this one. It doesn't look like he just bounces right off of that. Shoulders are gonna come up in this one. I'm trying to keep his whole body, all the movement, trying to keep it all connected. That way it looks organic and smooth and realistic. Obviously it's a bit exaggerated because this is cartoony, but that's just, you know, personal style, I guess. And hands are going to actually move in for this one. Grab his elbows, move them out. See how that looks like from here. Save again.
It was said that you would destroy it. It was said that you would destroy it. It was said that.
For this part, since he's kind of putting his hand out there. Need to move this arm back. Actually, move his hands up more here. And his head down a little more. And you'll see when I add the facial animation, it's a really good final touch to all of this.
It was said that you would destroy it! 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 It was said that you would destroy it!
It's looking a lot better now. Obviously, it's still pretty rough. You can see here, we got some funky stuff going on with the hand right here. So, we're going to quickly... Shouldn't be much of an issue. I'm just going to... Oh, that's the rotation. Yeah, we don't even see that. We don't need to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up into frame more. And now I'm going to do something in the hand animation here. The fingers and all that. And I think it's probably going to lag. So, pro tip when moving fingers, try and disable lighting and ambient occlusion. Let's see how much smoother that is. And if that doesn't work, what I'm going to do is make this a lot shorter for now. And if I try and move it now, it's pretty smooth. I don't know why it works that way, but if you just shorten the little sequence bit there, for some reason it makes it a lot smoother. So weird. And SFM is got some weird. See where the keyframe is here. Yeah, I don't need this part in there. I don't know why that's in there. Left finger's gonna get rid of this one. I think I accidentally put that in. So what I'm gonna do is quickly move all the fingers. I'm gonna turn the lighting back on because I like it. Hopefully it doesn't lag. That's okay. So I'm gonna move his fingers in. This one goes back. Bends. Back. Bends. I want to kind of bend it toward the thumb. And I want these two to kind of hang out a little bit. Like so. And on this I want to kind of extend all the fingers. So I'm just going to select all of them. See, I can move them all at once like this. That's pretty helpful. Try and move the thumb here so it doesn't look as weird. And it looks a little bit weird in the camera, so we're going to try and move it around a little bit. There we go. That looks good. We got another little bump here, a little spike. We want to smooth that out. And just kind of take a look at all this. I really like the hand motion. It looks a little fast though. So I think the fingers are moving. They're returning to their previous pose because of this keyframe here. And what we're gonna do is just gonna delete this and add it back in. That'll remove the pose it was at, but there'll still be a keyframe there for organizational purposes. But that should slow down the speed at which the fingers return to normal. And you're actually gonna slow the rate at which the hand goes down by a little bit by just moving this up here. So I want to move the hand and the fingers more around where he says said. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I'm going to grab these three. Move them down. Now I have a lot of time here where I can slow down that motion to make it look better. You see that's too fast. Whoops. Smooth this. And we've got this mutant keyframe here. Let's scoot this back. See how that looks.
The chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy it! It was said that you would...
So it looks a little fast. The whole thing does, just a little bit.
Said that
What I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot all of this out by one frame. Fly it a little bit.
that you would destroy it! That you would destroy it! Would destroy... Destroy...
Move this one out.
That you would destroy it! You would...
And I want them to take a little bit longer to go down.
It was said that you would destroy it! It was said that...
And I actually want to speed this one back up.
It was said that you would destroy this! It was said that you would destroy this! It was said that you would destroy... It was said that you would destroy it! It was said that you would destroy... It was said that you...
What we do is I'm going to get rid of this thing. I'm going to smooth this out.
It was said that you would destroy... It was said that you would destroy...
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down a little more. Along with this one.
This! It would destroy... It would destroy... It would destroy...
And let's try and slow this chunk down a little bit more, just one frame.
The chosen one! It was said that you would destroy it! The chosen one! It was said...
Alright, so here, I want him to actually kind of force that with his body a little bit more.
It was said that you would... Said that you would... Said that...
And I actually still want him to be facing a little bit more this way.
It was said that you would... It was said that... It was said that...
Head moves too much that way. Let's try this.
It was said that you would destroy it! 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 It was said that you would destroy...
I'm going to exaggerate this part.
Destroy it! Destroy it! And that you would destroy it! And that you would destroy it! You would destroy...
And I'm going to resting keyframe to this. It's going to be a little slower than that. It's actually going to lean a lot more, but it's going to kind of curve his back. Yeah. Yeah. Somewhere around here.
destroy this! Destroy this! Destroy this!
That's a little too much. And it's a little too fast. Smooth that.
The chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this thing! Destroy this thing!
I don't like how his head moves down. I don't want his neck to move so much. In fact, I may want it to actually move up. Move just his head down.
Destroy this! Destroy this! Destroy this!
Much better. Much better.
Chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this thing! Destroy this!
And, got a keyframe here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down how fast these arms come down. I'll actually move them back a little bit too. Because they're just resting down, they're not actually moving much forward. For this chunk here, I'm actually going to delete the keyframe for the arms. See how that looks. It's looking good. It's looking real good.
It was said that you would destroy this thing, not... It was said that you would destroy it. It was said that you would destroy this. It was said that you would destroy this. It was said that...
Right here, something is going on with his hand. It's got, I don't know what this thing is doing. That must be the rotation. Rotation is off. Obviously we don't see it, but it's kind of messing up the keyframes that we see. Want it to be a little more uniform than that. Actually, I want this to come up a whole lot more. Oh! It's because I have both hands selected. I just need the one. So here I'm going to move this up a lot. It's going to look weird for a little bit. But, trust me, it'll look right in a second here. Now I need to see this from the side view. This does not look right. So what I want to do is bend the arm to make it look right. And I can actually move it up now. And that looks better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this keyframe and replace it with just a blank one so that that motion there takes place over 2 keyframes. I'm going to make sure this is smooth. Alright, let's take a look.
It was said that you would destroy this thing. It was said that you would destroy this thing.
It's looking
It was
really
said
good.
that you would destroy this thing.
Still a little bit rough, but it's definitely workable now. So let's take it one more look.
You were the chosen
See
one.
how it fits with the other part.
It was said that you would destroy this thing, not join. You would destroy this thing. You would destroy this thing. You would destroy this thing. You would destroy this. You would destroy this thing, not join them.
Alright, so I think I know what I'm going to do for this next part. Not join them is what he says. Oh. So what is he going to do? Not join them. Alright. Here's a good idea. I want him to kind of move backward, lean back a little bit with both his hands and like clenched fists as he's looking kind of downward. And then as he says join, he's going to put his arms forward and open up his hands. And lean his head out more. So we're going to try that. So I actually want him to move in this direction for this part. Just a little bit. Obviously needs to move back a little bit. Because, you know, he's been standing still for the most part here.
Who said that you would destroy this? Who said that you would destroy?
So it looks like we've got some goofy stuff going on with the pelvis bone here. Let's smooth that out.
Said that you would destroy.
And actually animate the pelvis here a little bit, because he's looking like he's just a little bit too still. Destroy, move up a little bit, not that much.
Who said that you would destroy this?
And we're actually going to start the motion where he's kind of turning to the side here a little bit early. That way it's not so choppy when we watch it. And I'm going to smooth these out again.
It was said that you would destroy this. Not that you would destroy this.
Starts a little bit earlier than that. So let's actually start it on this keyframe just a little bit.
It was said that you would destroy. It was said that you would destroy.
Actually needs to move like this here.
That you would destroy. That you would destroy this. That you would destroy this. That you would destroy this. Not join.
So he moves a little bit too much here. Let's try that.
Not join this.
Move his shoulders up. In preparation for his arms, which are coming up in a second here. Still moving too much in that direction. Actually, I'm gonna move his head down for this part. Right there. We need to add the part where his arms were up. And they come up quite a bit. And as they come up, he moves backwards. And leans up a little bit more. And his lightsaber's gonna be held like that. And like this. And we'll animate the hand in a little bit here. And actually, real quick, I'm going to use the motion editor to modify the position of these fingers over all of the time in this little sequence here. I'm actually going to tighten them up. So he's gripping the lightsaber a little better. Right now it looks goofy. Let's fix it. There we go, much better. Alright. Let's take a look at that. So I need his hands to start moving up right here. I'm gonna go find his hands. Gonna grab them here, move them forward, move them up, like that. Just a little bit more, and voila. And alright, since we're here, let's animate his fingers on this side too. Whoops. This one, that one. This will look better when I have ambient occlusion enabled. Just gonna tighten these up all just a little bit more. So right here, actually, I want to move him out. That way, it looks like he can actually close his hands a little bit there. It's okay. Smooth it out. Smooth these ones out too. Right here, I need to add an in between for the head. When he says Sith, I want his head to move up a little bit. Right at the eye. And smooth all of that out. Scoot this part back a little bit more. And delete this one and replace it. Move his head up there. Not join them. He's gonna push his hands forward and then he opens them. Say, look.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them!
So let's do some retiming here. His hands come up too fast. This part needs to be join when he goes. He says "oh" in the join. His hands are gonna be fully extended because I want that motion to be fast. Although the part when the hands come up actually does not need to be that fast. It's probably better if it's slower. So what I'm gonna do, scoot this back to where it was. Then I'm just gonna grab the hands. Smooth that out. Right here they need to be. Right here I need to have a little bit of a quick and dirty curl. Real quick. Join them. Let's grab his hands. And move it out. So they're too high up. They need to be farther down. But they need to be extended well enough. And it's fun to clip part of somewhere in here where his hands are open, like here. Select the finger, go down, copy the entire keyframe for that part where the hand is open, and go down here. Gotta paste that in there to save us some time. And just gonna move his hand like this. A little more shape to that. Let's try this, and just gotta move these fingers out a little bit. I might do a little thing with the lightsaber where it rolls in his hand. That'd be pretty cool. Could probably easily do that, but that'll be like a polish thing. You know, when I get nearly done with this, I'm just gonna go through and polish everything. It's a good practice. Keep it nice and smooth. Get a good grip on this. Here we go. And this finger. It's looking good. Alright. Let's see how this looks. And if we just...
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! You were the chosen one!
Alright, it's looking good for being just the rough chunks. Move this out a little bit more, and then we need to add a breakdown. Obviously, the rest of his body's got to move here, otherwise it just wouldn't look right. So he needs to scoop back a whole bunch, come up, lean back, and to compensate, we've got to move his hands back. And chest definitely comes out. Shoulders definitely go down. Definitely go down. Head comes out like this. Neck, chest. Move it a little bit more to the side like that. Add another little resting keep pose here. See how it looks.
Not join them! Not join them! Not join them!
Pretty good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another shot right here. I'm gonna add one more frame. I'm gonna do a little breakdown with the head so it moves down just a little bit in that spot. Join them. I want his head to move down a little bit. Help emphasize that word. And these are gonna move down here and in, and especially down like that. They're gonna rotate down. This one's actually gonna move in a little bit side closer to him. Alright, see how that looks. This is right here. It's looking awfully strange. What we want to do is actually want to smooth that out a little bit. Let's have a look, shall we?
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
That looks pretty good.
It
Still a little bit rough.
Destroy the Sith, not join them!
But I think you can see the point of this
It
here.
was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
Matching his line pretty well.
It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
His head moves around a little bit too much in some parts.
It was said that you would destroy the Sith!
Right, like right here, it goes down too much. So let's actually copy and paste and smooth. and then we'll just modify. In fact, I actually wanted to go up a little bit. And right here, dips down quite severely. Gonna smooth some of these out. Right.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them! It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not Sith! Sith, not Sith, Sith, not
So, I don't want to do too much more to the head until I see what the facial animation looks like on it. Because it definitely does influence how you want to move the head at some point. So, I'm going to call it good for this video. I'm going to do, a second one where I do the lip syncing, so you can learn how to do that. Lip syncing, facial animation, definitely something you want to put time into to make it look right. It doesn't actually take that much, but you want to make it look good. It's very important that your characters have very good facial animation. I do not use the automatic lip sync in SFM because it doesn't look good. I do it all manually because it looks a whole lot better. For example, if I do this frame by frame, get rid of the motion trail in here. You, the chosen, see right here, cool little effect on his lips. Then one favorite part right there. Wow, one. Now you see I've got a bit of animation in his eyes and eyebrows and nose. Just a little bit to go along with the mouth.
You were the chosen one!
Steps back.
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them!
So I think that little, the chunk we did, it looks pretty good.
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them!
A little bit rough, but so in the next video, just gonna clean that up a little bit, and then we're gonna do the lip syncing and see how it goes. Thanks for watching. I applaud you if you made it to the end. Again, you can always watch it in a higher speed if you want. So I'm going to stop this recording right now, and I hope you found it helpful as to how you actually animate, and I'll see you next time.